you're just giving question to LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemma, or whatever the application is. It is Copilot. So you are trying to give question and then you are getting the response. Okay. So what is this large language model is trying to do is, so there is a beautiful concept which is called as uh, next token prediction. So what all these large language models are trying to do is, let's assume that, so whenever we are training these large language models, right, all these large language models are trained to predict the next token. So what do I mean by that is, so whenever you ask any question, so if I come here, if I ask, hey, tell me about, I'm just giving, tell me about Virat. I'm just giving some question. Okay. So what it is trying to do is it is trying to depict what my question is. And then if you see, it is not answering in one go. Okay. So whenever you ask any question in Google, you are getting answers in one go, right? But if you see all these ChatGPT based language models, first what they try to do is they try to predict one word. Later it try to predict the next word. If you see, first what it is trying to do is it is trying to predict married. After predicting married, what it is trying to do is it is trying to predict token, which is called to. Later it is trying to predict the next word, which is called Bollywood. All these large language models, what they are trying to do is they are trying to predict the next token. So what they are not, so even though this is your question, it is not giving the answer in one go. It says, hey, Virat Kohli is the first word. Second, it says is. Third, it says one. Fourth, it says of. Fifth, it says the. Sixth, it says greatest. So whenever it is trying to predict the next token or next word, it is trying to consider all its previous tokens. So all these large language models are called auto-regressive models. Okay. So you understand, right, what is this large language model is all about. So large language model is what they are trying to do is all these chat GPTs or anthropic models or any other models, what they are trying to do is they are trying to predict the next token. So there are two phases. So there is something called training, there is something called inferencing. So whatever you are doing right now is called inferencing, where you are asking the question and large language model is giving the answer. But how it is giving the answer? So if you see, you are asking about, hey, tell me about Virat. And then what it is saying is, it is saying, hey, Virat Kohli is the next token that it is saying. After that, it is trying to predict one. And then after predicting Virat is one, what it is doing is it is predicting the next token, which is called off. Token or word, anything is similar, guys. Okay. So after that, it is predicting the next word, which is called the. Later, it is predicting the word called greatest. Later, it is predicting something called modern day. So what this chat GPT or what any large language model is trying to do is they are auto-regressively predicting the next token so that it answers whatever the question that you are asking. So there is a very beautiful website which is called Transformer Visualizer or Explainer. So you can go to this page and then see how these large language models are trying to predict the next token. So if you see, if you see this, there is a sentence which is called, let me give one sentence from ChatGPT, or I'll say Virat Kohli is one of the modern, I'm just giving this thing, okay? So I'm just giving Virat is the one of the greatest to the transformer or large language model, and then I'm clicking on generate. So if I click on generate, what it is trying to do is, if you see here, it is trying to predict the next token. Here, next token is players. Okay. So how it is predicting is, we will talk about it. There is an architecture called transformer architecture. With the help of this architecture, or with the help of this, we are trying to predict the next token. So if you see, in English, there are bunch of tokens, right? So after greatest, there are around 100K tokens. But in those 100K tokens, what this transformer is telling is this transformer is telling to predict players, because players is having highest probability. So who is giving this highest probability is this transformer architecture. Okay, so now if you see, Virat is the one of the greatest players, and then if I click on generate, and then again, what it is trying to do is it is trying to predict off. Okay, so it has from the bunch of words, what this transformer is telling what token to predict next. So it is saying to predict off because off is having some sort of high probability, and so on. So under the hood, whenever you ask a question, you are thinking like, hey, more AI is kind of way knowledgeable stuff, right? But no. So what all these large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, or anthropic models like Claude Sonnet, all these are trying to do is they are just trying to predict the next token. So given the question, whatever the question that you are giving, what these large language models are trying to do is they are taking the question into account, and then they are asking, hey, what is the probable next token or next word? This is what all large language models are trying to do. Okay, so what is generative AI, guys? So you are right now referring to, everyone is talking about generative AI, right? So generative AI is nothing but the model, so that try to predict. So what do I mean by predicting is that what is the meaning of, everyone is I mean, I see a question like, hey, what is the meaning of token? So you can think of a token as a word. Okay, you can think of a token as a word, and LLM means, yeah, large language model. So ChatGPT is the best example of large language model, guys. Okay. Now, yeah. So if you see, I am passing a question to ChatGPT, or let's assume that there is a large language model which is called GPT. And then what this GPT is trying to do is, after predicting next token, next token, next token, we are getting a paragraph, right? That is what you are trying to see. So what is generative AI is? Generative AI is the models that generate something. So if you see ChatGPT, what it is trying to do is, if you are asking a question, it is trying to generate this stuff, right? It is trying to generate the whatever the question is, it is trying to generate the response. If you see, Virat is one of the modern, it has given us the it has given us this, right? It has given us the answer. Now I'm asking one more question, like, hey, what is, can you create me an image for my upcoming workshop date? I would say 15th April, 15th April, and then time. I'm just creating one poster, guys. I'll say 12 p.m. Sorry, 12 a.m. Eastern time. Course, I would say $200. I want I want to say limited offer, and so on. I'm just giving all this information, and then uh, I want an image with robot symbol. I'm just giving this thing, and then I'm asking uh, ChatGPT to predict the, or to generate the image. Now, what this ChatGPT is trying to do is, this ChatGPT is trying to generate the video. So if you see, the generative AI is a field where what we are trying to do is we are trying to predict, or we are trying to generate something. So in case of text models, what they try to do is they try to generate the responses in text. So if you ask a question, hey, what is a large language model? And then what these text models are doing is they are generating the text. So if you see the image models, So if you see, they are generating the images. So there are some video models as well, where you ask, hey, can you create me a video for my upcoming boot camp where I want so and so person coming and then speaking. So what right now ChatGPT will do is, I mean, I'm just giving you some generic ChatGPT as an example, but under the hood, we will have different models. What they are trying to do is they are trying to generate the videos, right? So with the help of these large language models, what are we trying to do is we are trying to predict, or we are trying to predict the text, we are trying to predict the image, we are trying to predict the videos, or we are trying to generate the videos. So generative AI is a field where we are generating something which is never existed before. So by taking the reference from different images during the training process, what they are trying to do is they are trying to generate something. Okay, that is what this generative AI field is all about. Okay, so now that you understand what is the large language models is all about, can someone tell me what are the common problems that you are facing whenever you are using large language models? Let's assume that I want to use these large language models for my company. So what are the problems that you encounter if you use this large language model at your enterprise, guys? Can someone tell me? I'm just looking into your question. See, so whenever you want to build an application, let's say assume that, hey, you want to build a chatbot that has so much of your company information. What are the problems that you see? I'm seeing so many answers which are correct, guys. Okay. So what are the problems that we face whenever you are using this for enterprises? So the first and foremost problem is all these large language models are trained on something called public data, right? So whenever you are asking private question or company's information, do you think LLM will answer that question? Just say yes or no, guys. All these large language models are trained on private information, right? So whenever you ask any question related to your company, do you think will that answers your question? Yes, it does answers your question. But what is the problem that we see is we see a problem which is called as hallucination, which means it try to confidently say that say the answer which is not true. That problem is called hallucination problem. Okay, so whenever all these large language models are like ChatGPT, Anthropic, Gemini are trained on so much of public available information, which means it trained on internet data, whatever internet has, all the information whichever is present in the internet has been trained uh, whenever you are building these large language models. But whenever you ask a simple question related to my company, does this LLM answer? Yes, it does answers, but the hallucination is the problem. Hallucination is nothing but you are expecting X to be the answer, but what it is giving is it is confidently giving Y as the answer. So you are thinking answer has to be 50, but LLM is saying confidently that 60 is the answer. Okay, that is called hallucination problem, guys. So whenever we are building large language models, hallucination is the first and foremost problem that we see. And the second problem everyone has mentioned is security, right? Data security is the biggest thing, because whenever you ask a question uh, and then to these large language models, security becomes a huge threat, right? Because in my company, company is built on the foundations of data, right? Every company is as strong as their data. So whenever you go to some company and then you ask what is their core strength, their core strength is their PI information, customers base, right? And if you are if you want to build an application with these large language models, data security is becoming more serious concern, right? And any other problems, guys? The one more problem is these large language models, right? They have something called context limit, which means you can't send a 100 million page document into LLM and then you can't ask a simple question, right? So that is called context limit problem. So these are the particular problems that we are facing whenever you are using these LLM based architecture, guys. So is this problems clear, guys? Any questions or anything till now? What is the architecture that we are working right now with large language models? Do you see any issues here? Just say yes or no so that we will go to the next topic, guys. Yes or no in the chat. Okay. Now that you understand, yep, yep, yep. Okay, okay. So now that you understand this basic architecture, like you have some black box. We will uncover that black box, guys, how it is generating the next tokens. No worry about right now. Don't think too much. We have 8 more classes. You'll understand bit more, bit more, bit more. But today, so we are kind of talking some basic questions, right? So I'm just sending the question to LLM, and then LLM is giving me the answer. But the what are the problems that we are seeing with the current LLMs is that these three are the problems, right? Then how do we overcome this? How do we overcome these three problems? So do you guys agree with me that the data hallucination problem, whatever we are seeing, is because LLM doesn't know that information, right? Because LLMs doesn't know that information, LLMs are trying to hallucinate. Do you guys agree with me or not? Because LLMs doesn't know that company's information, that is the reason why LLMs are trying to hallucinate, right? Then how do we solve this problem? How do we solve this hallucination problem? So let's assume that you have a company policy document, okay? Let's assume that you have a company policy document, okay? And this policy document has some sort of information like, hey, how many employees I can hire? I'm just asking some stupid question, okay? So this question answer is present in this. Let's assume that in my company, this is present in this policy document. So can I send this document? Can I send this question? And then can I send this document to LLM? And do you think we will get the answer for this question or not, guys? So if I send the document, if I send the document, and then if I also send the question to LLM, do you think we will get the answer or not? Because why are we getting hallucination in our previous thing is because LLM doesn't know our policy information. That is the reason why LLMs are trying to hallucinate. Now, to overcome the hallucination problem, what I am trying to do is I am trying to provide entire document, whatever I am having, to this large language model, so that now what large language model does is it trained to answer my question by looking into the document. Do you guys agree with me with this approach, guys? Can we solve that problem of hallucination with this or not? Just say yes or no. Yep. At least, I mean, not 100%, but we will. Yes. Yes, I mean, there are some parameters like temperature where we can set for LLM, which also helps. But let's think naively. I mean, we will not go into too deep right now. Okay. But here we have a problem, guys. So do you see any problem here? I mean, do you see with this approach, whatever you are seeing, do you see any problem here, guys? Yes, we are trying to solve the hallucination problem. Yes, two people has mentioned it correctly. So one problem that everyone is mentioning is security. The second problem that I mean, to some extent, my hallucination problem right now uh, would be resolved with this approach. But the second one problem is the security problem. The second problem is the context, right? LLM can only read up to 100K words, which means it reads 100K or it reads 200K or it reads only 1 million words at a time. It can't read more than that. What if your policy document has, let's say, assume that uh, 10,000 page document or 1 million page document? What if your document is big? So there are till two problems. One is context limit problem with the LLM, where it can only read up to certain things. Okay, it can only read 1 million words at a time. And the second problem still exists is the security problem, right? Where it always we are kind of sending our policy information to these large language models. So at least, I mean, one problem, whatever the hallucination problem, we are not trying kind of changing 100% with this approach, but 90% or 80% of the cases, the hallucination problem is kind of gone here. Okay. So what is the better approach? What is the better approach, guys? So there is this context limit problem, right? So let's try to solve this. So let's assume that you have a policy document with 10,000 pages, guys. Let's assume that you have a policy document with, let's assume that with 10,000 pages. And user is asking first page question. Okay, around 10,000 page document. Do you think we need to pass the entire 10,000 page to LLM in order to get the question, guys? What is the best approach here? Can someone tell me what is the best approach? What is the best approach, guys? So I have a 10,000 page document. The LLMs right now, whatever the LLMs that we have, has a context window problem, context limit, where it can only read up to certain limit. If you pass more and more tokens, what happens is they will charge more and more. There is a beautiful concept which is called garbage in, garbage out. So if you are sending garbage to LLM, you will get garbage from LLM. So what you are sending is very important, right? So whenever you are whenever you are sending a question, whenever you are sending a prompt to LLM, you have 10,000 page documents, and let's assume that the answer is present in the first page. Will you send this first page, or do you want to send the 10,000 pages, guys? Just my question is very simple. Will you send first page, or will you send all pages if your question is present in the first page? It is very simple, right? We will send the first page. Yes, everyone is saying that. How do we know the information is present in the first page? I will say that. Okay. I'll say that. How I'll say that. But let's say assume that the question is present in the first page. So if you send the first page, we'll get the answer, right? Why do we need to send the entire information? That is what the architecture, which is called RAG, comes into the picture. So what do we do is, instead of we sending the entire PDF, so let's assume that here I am having my PDF, right? So let's assume that you are working for a company, you have hundreds and hundreds of PDFs. So you have this PDF. Right now, what you are trying to do is, instead of you sending this information, entire PDF, now what you are doing is you are storing all this PDF information in something called vector databases. So let's not deep dive into what is this vector databases for now, but let's assume that you have PDF, and I am storing all this PDF into vector database. Okay. And now what I am trying to do is, whenever user asks a question, okay, whenever, let's assume that user is asking a simple question, instead of me sending this entire big question and then the entire document, what I would do is, let's assume that I have this as my LLM. Okay. This is my LLM, and I'll get the response. Okay, so if you see, guys, what is the problem is the context limit, right? If you are having bigger and bigger documents, and if your answer is present in specific pages, why are we even sending the 10,000 page document to LLM? Then how do we overcome that? What I am trying to do as a solution is, I have this PDF. What I would do is, I would store this entire PDF into something called vector databases. Okay, so I have this PDF, I am storing this PDF into vector database. Once after storing this into vector database, what I would do is, I'll answer all these questions, guys. What is vector database? Why we are using it? Let's not ask why for now. Let's digest the information. Later we will talk about why. Okay. So now what I am doing is, I am sending this question to vector database to get some relevant information. So what do I mean by getting relevant information is, someone is asking, right? Whenever I'm kind of asking, how do we know that question, the answer, whatever the user question is, that user's question answer is present in the first page. How do we know that is? There is a concept called cosine similarity, where we'll use that cosine similarity and then we'll find out where exactly the answer is present in that entire document. So, okay, let's not focus on that cosine similarity or anything for now. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to send this question to vector database. And from vector database, what are we trying to get is we are trying to get the relevant information, which means it says, hey, I have, for this specific question, these are the pages where you might have the answer. It says, hey, in the page number 1, in the page number 3, and in the page number 5 has the relevant information. So with this transaction, by sending this question to vector database, what we are getting is we are getting something called relevant information for that question. So you are sending this question to vector database, which means in this vector database, what we are having is we are having this PDF information, okay? And what we are getting is we are getting the relevant information. And now, right now, you are sending this question, you are sending this relevant information to LLM. And what LLM is trying to do is LLM is trying to get the answer for us. So with this architecture, so the problem of context limit, right? Whatever the problem of context limit that we are talking about, it is kind of, we are kind of moving away from that context problem, right? Where right now we are not sending 100 pages or 10,000 pages. Now we are only sending 2 pages or 3 pages, right? Which is cost cut down for us. And then we are not sending abundant of information to LLM. We are only sending what is needed. Do you guys understand this or not, guys? Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. I mean, there are so many questions which might be which you might be getting or you might be having in your mind. I'll answer all those things where we will talk about this more and more. Next 1 hour, we will deep dive into this thing, guys. Don't worry about that. But on peripheral level, we are seeing into the evaluation, right? Evaluation, where right now, in first case, we are simply sending the question, and what we are getting is we are sending the question to LLM, we are getting the response. But with this, we have something called a problem, which is called hallucination problem, okay? And to overcome that, what I'm trying to do is because LLMs doesn't know my company's information or my policy information, that is the reason why LLMs are trying to hallucinate. To overcome that, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to send the policy information. If you are having any questions related to how are they training the models in normal text and vectors? Very, very, very good question, Uday. I don't want to deviate from this topic of what I am saying. Definitely, I'll answer your question at the end of our session. Okay, so please be patient. I'll answer all your question. But for now, let's focus on these LLMs. I mean, everyone wants to understand how these are made. Yes, we'll understand that, but that needs mathematics. That needs some understanding. We'll understand that, but on peripheral level, let's see how can this be done. Okay. When we didn't know in which page we have our required information, what should we do? Let me explain that one more time. You'll understand that. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is right now I'm passing the entire 10,000 page document into LLM. That is causing me two things. One is called security problem, and this LLM has something called context limit, which is also a greater problem. We'll talk about the great problem. Okay. Uh, how do we overcome that context limit problem is that you have the PDF. You are not sending this entire PDF to LLM. Instead, what you are trying to do is you are trying to store your entire PDF into something called vector database. And now you have the question. Now you are sending this question to vector database to get the relevant information on where exactly the question is present or where exactly the relevant answer is present. So this operation, whatever I am saying, right, sending the question and getting the relevant information is where we kind of understand in which page we have the in which phase we have the required information, or in which page the exactly the answer is present. How do we do that? Is where some technicalities which I need to deep dive into, which I'll talk about. But yeah, you send the question to vector database, and then you get the relevant information on where exactly, in which pages exactly the answer is present. Now you send the question, you send the relevant information to LLM, and what you get is the answer. Okay. Now let's go a bit deep. Now let's go a bit deep. What is this vector database? How are we getting this relevant information? What is this all about? We'll talk about this. So there is something called this sending of the question, getting of the relevant information. This process is called RAG, guys. This entire process, whatever you are talking about, is called as RAG. So what is this RAG stands for? RAG stands for retrieval augment generation. So what is this RAG stands for? RAG stands for retrieval augment generation. So yeah. So what is the first phase is? The first phase is called as retriever. So whenever you have the question, so what you are trying to do is you are sending this question to vector database, and you are retrieving the relevant information, right? So this phase is called retrieval phase. Okay. And what is the second phase? This is the first phase, right? You send the you get the retrieved information or relevant information. You have the question. Now, what you are trying to do is you are trying to do something called augmentation. So augmentation is nothing but doing, or we are kind of adding everything. Okay. This process where you have the question, you have the relevant information. What we're trying to do is you take the question, you add this relevant information, and then you pass it to LLM, right? So that adding is called as augmentation. And what is the third step? The first step is the retrieval, right? Where you send the question to vector database, you retrieve the relevant information. The second step is we are adding, right? Before we send it to LLM, we add the question, we add the relevant information. That process is called augmentation. And third one is called generation, where you send the relevant information to LLM, and what we are getting is we are getting the output, right? So this process is called generation. So is this clear, guys, on what is a RAG? So retrieved documents are basically augmented with user query, and we pass it to LLM for generation. Excellent. Yes, exactly, guys. So is this clear, guys, on what exactly RAG? Everyone is talking about RAG in LinkedIn, everywhere you go, right? In all the AI projects, everyone is talking about this, right? So, I mean, this is not the end, guys. So if you want me to show how does the RAG looks like, just 1 minute, guys. Let me. Hmm, 1 minute, guys. So yeah, so if you see, this is how entire RAG. So if you see, this is what we are talking, right? So this is called vanilla RAG, where you have the user question, you retrieve the relevant information from vector database. So this is called retriever. Later we do something called augmentation. Later we do something called generation. So, but there is so much of information, guys. There is so much of information. So we need to talk about how are the, this is called vanilla RAG. Vanilla RAG is nothing but basic RAG. We have something called production RAG. We have something called observability. We have something called security and governance. We have something called how do we design AI systems at scale? How do we detect the hallucinations? So there is so much of things to discuss, guys. But yeah, let's come back to our session. Okay, so did you understand on high level, guys? If you are okay, what I'll do is I'll deep dive into this, guys. I'll deep dive into this more. So are you guys uh interested? Can we proceed? Just say yes or no in the chat, guys. Yep, yep. Okay, okay. So with that, let's go further, guys. Let's go one step further. Okay. Now you have bunch of PDFs, right? So you have bunch of PDFs. How do we take this bunch of PDFs and then how do I store them into vector database? What is this vector database is all about? We'll talk that, okay? First, let's spend some time on this, okay? So this is also called as ingestion. Someone is rightly mentioned in the chat. So we talk about that. Can we also send this diagram for different types of excellent? I'll do that. No problems. Everything. Don't worry about logistics, guys. The recordings, materials, whatever, the GitHub links, everything you'll understand. Okay. No worries. Is this clear, guys? Are you able to understand it, or do you want me to further simplify these things? I can further simplify. If you are not understanding anything, guys, feel free to ask anything in the chat. Okay. I know all these concepts. My intention is that I want you to learn. Okay. So, but yeah. So the problem is that not a problem. Now we need to understand how can we okay. Now let's go, guys. We have the PDFs. I'm just sometimes looking into the questions to see, guys. Okay. So now what we have is we have something called PDFs. So how will headings be structured? Can you please repeat one more time of RAG is same. So go with simple way as non-technical time. So yes, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go as much as simple as I can, but I'll try to even more. I'll try to be as more as generic as I can. Okay. So let's assume that we have something called PDF. Okay. Let's assume that we have something called PDFs. Now, what do we do, guys? Now, what are we trying to do? What is our end goal? Can someone tell me what is our end goal? What do we need to do? Let's assume that I have bunch of PDFs in vector database. What do I need to do, guys? My end goal is I need to store them into vector databases, right? Do you guys agree with me or not? I need to store this into vector database, right? I have the PDF. Let's assume that I have 100 PDFs. What is my end goal? My end goal is to store this into or do this into vector database, right? What do? Is I do something called ETL. So in order to take this PDF and in order to do or to store it into vector database, I do something called ETL. So can someone tell me what is the full form of ETL, guys? Can someone tell me what is the full form of ETL? Yes. Any data engineers here? So please try to post what is the ETL, guys. Yep. Yep. Extract, transform, load. Exactly. That is what we need to do here. So first I have the PDF. What I would do is I would extract the content of PDFs. So everyone is talking about PDFs, right? So because most of the information is available in the PDF. Now what I would do is I would extract the content from the PDF using something called OCR. So OCR is the technique, guys. What is OCR? OCR stands for optical character recognition. What is OCR stands for? OCR stands for optical character recognition. So whatever the content that is present, sometimes people write in scanned copies. We will have scanned copies. Sometimes we have digital copies. So there are bunch of documents, right? So first what we need to do is I'm extracting the content, and then from the PDF. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing the extraction? Why am I doing the transformation? Why am I loading? Is my vector database, whatever the vector database that I have, right? Vector database can only store something called vectors. So what is a vector? You can think of a vector as the numerical representation. So let's assume that I have uh, I have text. Okay, I have a text called hello, how are you? So now this text, what we need to do is we need to convert this text into numerical representation, and vector databases can only store something called numericals. We'll talk about what is this vector, why do we need to convert into vector, what is the significance of converting into vector, what is this vector database is all about. We'll talk about this. Okay. So we'll have why questions if you're learning for the first time, but keep that questions in your mind. We'll talk about that. Okay. So, but yeah, we have PDF. The first step is that we need to extract, right? How do we extract is this OCR. OCR stands for optical character recognition. What this OCR enables is this OCR enables us to extract the entire PDF, whatever the PDF content that we are having, right? It extracts that content. Now we have the content. Once after having the content, what we need to do is we need to do something called we need to do something called we need to do something called transformation. What transformation are we doing is we are our end goal is that we need to convert the text into text into vectors, right? Because I can only store uh, vectors into vector database, right? Now what am I doing is I am kind of transforming. I'm kind of transforming. So first I'll do something called chunking, where if I am having 10,000 page document, chunking is the process of breaking the bigger document into small parts. Like if I have 10,000 pages, I'll have each page as one chunk. So chunk, you can think of chunk as the small piece of the bigger document. Okay. And then once after splitting that, what I would do is I would do something called transformation, which is I'm converting the entire text, one page document into vectors. And thus that process of converting uh, text into vectors, which is called as embeddings. 1 minute, guys. Okay. So this entire process, right, whatever you are seeing, this process is called transformation. Okay. So first we did something called extraction. Second, what we did is we did something called transformation. So once after doing the transformation, what we would be doing is we would be loading them into vector database. The third step and final step is called loading. Okay. Now that your data is loaded, we'll talk about this in detail, guys. No worries. Okay. This is called ingestion pipeline, guys. How do we ingest the data? Or this is called data ingestion or ingestion pipeline. Okay. So we have hundreds and hundreds of PDFs. We are doing some ETL, and what we are doing is we are storing that information into something called vector databases. How do we do that is we first take the PDF, we extract the content with the help of OCR. Later we do something called transformation with the help of chunking plus embedding. And then I store this into vector database. I'll talk about this. What is OCR? What is chunking? What is embedding? What is vector database on high level? But is this clear, guys? Till now, any questions? Just say yes or no, guys. We'll talk about how to handle different types of PDFs. We'll talk about what is OCR. We'll talk about what is chunking, embedding in detail, guys. But is this clear till now, or any questions on high level, guys? Why data ingestion? Very, very, very good question. So why are we doing this entire data ingestion is that I don't want to send. So what is the problem? So you have we discussed this, right? So we assume that this data ingestion is done and all my PDFs are stored in vector database. Okay. So that is the reason why we are doing this data ingestion. So if you have your data which is present in your vector database, then only we can do this RAG. If not, this RAG will not work, guys. So in this RAG approach, whatever we are talking, right? Whatever we are talking in this RAG approach, the fundamental thing is that we need to do something called ingestion. We assume that in order to build this RAG, we assume that our data is present in the vector database. So how do we store that into vector database is what this ingestion pipeline is all about. OCR for images. It's for images, it's for digital documents. There are so many libraries which we'll talk about that, okay? Little bit about OCR, please. Yes. OCR, let's say assume that there is something called scanned document, guys. Okay. Is OCR needed for all the documents? No, it's not needed. If your document is digital document, if your PDF has, so let's spend some time. So many people are asking so many questions on OCR. Let's spend some time. So there are how many types of PDFs are there, guys? Generally, there are two types of PDFs. Okay, one is digital based. Second one is scanned. Okay, digital in the sense where you can kind of let me go to one of my batch. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, and then let me go to not this. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay, where is my yeah? So let's assume that I have this PDF.
Master, after this, can we give 5 minutes break, water break,
Sure.
so that, yeah, thank
Sure,
you.
definitely. Yep. So let's say assume that we have this PDF, guys. So what is this PDF? Do you think this PDF is digital PDF or scanned PDF, guys? So is this digital PDF or scanned PDF? Digital PDF, right? So scanned PDF is nothing but if you select the text, you will not get anything. Okay. So 1 minute, let's go and see how scanned PDF. Okay. Uh, example. So yeah, this is scanned PDF. If I select something, so here I'm selecting, guys. I'm not able to get anything. Okay. So this is the, if I select this, I'm getting this, right? So this is the example for a digital PDF. This is the example. If I select, I'm selecting, guys. If I select anything, I'm not getting anything. This is scanned PDF. So whenever you are kind of doing OCR, when is this OCR is needed is, it is needed if your image is a scanned PDFs, guys. So if your PDF is scanned, then we use something called OCR, and we get the information from the PDF, whatever. So what this OCR is trying to do is, this OCR is trying to extract what exactly the content is, where exactly the content is. So it says United States Environmental Protection Agency, right? So this context or this content is extracted with the help of OCR, guys. Okay. And yeah, for a digital also we can use OCR, but instead of digital, for digital we can use some libraries which are available in Python. uh, there is, I'll talk about that in detail. There is something called PyPDF, all these things which can help to extract the content. Okay. So we will kind of take a break here for 5 minutes, and then we'll be back, guys. Okay. Ram sir, you can take over if you have anything. Yep. We will connect at 11:22 after 5 minutes, guys, because people are from different domains, different zones. Yeah, we'll connect in 5 minutes.
Hey, hi. Thank you all. So I think admin people, yes, we can fill that enrollment form. So it doesn't mean that it's like you decided to join the course, but yeah, please fill that enrollment form if you want to have any one-to-one discussion before you join. I mean, after these free classes, if you want to get into our live projects, so you will be associated with us for the next 6 months. And we have like a couple of 30, 40 projects. You can choose level one, level two, level three projects, like two, three projects you can choose and practice. And then you can just like have one-to-one sessions with our mentors, and then join our 100 hours course, and join our AI lab sessions, join our AI mind session thinking program. There are many programs upcoming. Once you associate, and you will be added to our AI community, jobs community, and yeah, everywhere, like whatever we have, knowledge sources. So you will be added to everywhere, and you will be given, specific training. So, like I said, we have 10 plus mentors across all the AI domains and AI concepts. So they will come and dedicate to assigned weeks. They will come and teach. The classes will be kind of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every night, 9 p.m. EST to 10 p.m. EST, 1 hour classes will be there. And Saturday, Sunday, um, 10 a.m. EST to 11:30. That is 1.5 hour class. And extra 1 hour, we stay in the same Zoom call. We can clarify all your queries and sessions. So Saturday, Sunday, we dedicated to spend 4 to 5 hours of time with our mentors. So that's where we spend more time. And it's a 14-week course plan. So every week there is a agenda. So based on the agenda, based on the assigned mentor, they come and teach and they go. So yeah, that those things. Approve, can you proceed and take like 5, 10 minutes overview for everybody before master starts the remaining session?
Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you everyone for attending today's free boot camp. And over the next few weeks, you'll learn a lot of things with the different topics. And so, if you are interested, so we have some of projects developed, around 30 projects developed in our GitHub. So, this is our profile from KKR Gen AI. So, we have around 82 projects in total, where you can just work on. We have developed level one, level two, and level three projects. And level one comes with the beginner AI projects, those who come from the different background, like non-IT, or those who come from different technologies like, product management, business analyst, or Java, or any kind of different backgrounds. They can come and leverage these projects. So this project level one gives you all the hands-on experience with the real-time AI projects designed to take and also help beginners across various industries. So these projects, like there are real industry contexts with the healthcare, finance, legal, and education, and also e-commerce. And you will be coming across different tools and APIs like Streamlit, Fast API, React, Notion, and also different software structures with the different step-by-step guidance. So this level one project is for the people or the students who come from CS, AI, data science, or product management, business analyst. It can be anything. So they can come and leverage this portfolio with the 10 real-time projects. And also, like, we have given all the projects with the different domains. Like you can see, for the first project, it's healthcare with OpenAI and Streamlit, and also with the second project, we have finance domain and legal, education, healthcare, and we also have two universal projects with the different tech stack. So you can find all the project descriptions here with it explains all the project overview, and also how you can implement them using step-by-step guidance. And it benefits, like for the level one projects, it benefits with the prompt engineering, multimodal AI, and also API integration with front end, back end, and also complete testing from end to end. So you'll be getting the exposure to 10 different projects with the different domains. and we'll give you all the guidance. So if you are interested, you can just enroll in the enrollment link. And also, like, so once you get the enrollment, you will be reaching out to you with the access to the GitHub. So this is how the structure is being given to you, and this is the technology stack that you'll be using with LLMs, UI framework, backend, external integration, and document processing, and also with the language. So, for example, if I show you like one of the project, you will see the step-by-step guidance, like how to implement them, what is the business problem, what is the project objective, and also the complete system architecture is being given to you so that you'll get complete overview about how to implement the project. And also, this is the tech stack that we follow. For each project, there are different tech stacks. So you'll be getting exposure to how to start the projects in Python, and we'll give you the setup and the step-by-step implementation guidance. So you can follow this one, and if you have any roadblocks or if you need any help from our end, so we'll definitely help you out in connecting in the Zoom. So we have all the steps given to you. So once you try this one, so you can just add it to your portfolio or GitHub and also in the LinkedIn's, so that you'll get the exposure to the AI projects, and also like you can just showcase how you have implemented this one. So this will be beneficial to your interview also. So you can just explain them in the interviews, like what are the portfolio you have developed, and what are the projects you have worked on. So this is the level 1 projects that we have developed, and we also have level 2 projects developed for you. So you can take a look at it for the level 2. So once you complete level 1, you'll get access to the level 2 with 10 more projects. This can be like if anyone has already worked on AI, or if they have any like foundation basic experience on AI, they can leverage level 2 projects. So level 2 covers about RAG pipelines, vector databases, agentic workflows with automations and everything. So even like this is for the AI engineers and data scientists who have the foundation level skills, and they can come and work on this one on the level 2 projects. So this is also given with the step-by-step implementation guidance. So you can cover the technology stacks like automation, RAG frameworks, vectors, and also with the external integrations and everything in the level 2. So once you complete level 2, so you'll be given access to the level 3 projects. So totally we have designed around 40 projects, which like level 1 covers 10, level 2, level 3 covers 10 each. And we have universal projects, 10 more projects, so you'll be working on them simultaneously. So advanced projects will be covered with multi-agent orchestration and also fine-tuning, LangGraph, Crew AI, and also cloud deployment, full stack AI development will be covered under level 3 projects. So if you like, you can get the information and the access to the GitHub and all the course contents once you enroll with the enrollment link that is being provided in the chat to you. So you can just leverage all this project access during this bootcamp or once you complete this bootcamp. For the updated information, you can follow our LinkedIn page. So we'll be updating about the boot camps, and also like if there are any upcoming batches, we'll notify in the LinkedIn, and also we'll post all the jobs or openings if there are any. So if you'll be getting the updated information once you enroll or once you follow the LinkedIn page. And this is our 14 weeks course plan. So we'll be starting with foundations of those who come from different backgrounds. If they want to leverage Python, we have developed the foundation Python classes as well, with the foundation of machine learning, deep learning, and also NLP, and complete end-to-end data science projects. And also the classes will be taught on foundation level. Once you complete that, we have generative AI course on agents, agentic AI frameworks, cloud deployments. Everything will be covered under 14 weeks course plan. So you'll be given access to all the course content. So if you have enroll or enrollment link, so just fill it out. Our team will reach out to you. You'll get all the access to this one. And also we have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe and get the playlist and the updated videos. So you can find some of the videos here with the different topics, with the previous boot camps and with the classes, how we teach. You can get complete end-to-end exposure about our course curriculum, about our teaching style. So yeah, please fill out the enrollment form given in the chat. So I will definitely reach out to you about the queries and questions. We have the query session at the end of the class. So yeah, so we are here to help you out. Yeah, thank you. That should be it from my side. And Shekhar, you can go ahead with your session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Apurv. Yeah, thank you, Master, for giving this gap. So we just want to make sure everybody, on the page. So inquiry form is not mandatory to fill, but if you want to discuss a kind of one-to-one discussion, trying to understand your career switch, trying to understand what we teach. And so once we enroll, we will be sending important links like video recordings and all. You can listen like how we teach on the project execution, how we execute the complete 4 week 14 weeks plan, and there are like how we teach on job placements and all. And there are some important links and all we try to share with everyone. Even if still you want to discuss, we can discuss with one-to-one session. Just like ping us, we will send our Zoom business link so that you can just like talk with us for 15 to 30 minutes and clarify all your questions. Okay. Sorry to stop taking this time, but just we want to make sure that what we do. Okay. Shaker Master, please feel free to post it. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you have a nice little break, guys. Before again, let me deep dive. Before we go into that, how many of you know Anthropic, guys? Just say yes or no in the chat. How many of you know Anthropic? Okay. So if you know Anthropic, if you know or if you don't know, it doesn't matter. Anthropic is a company, just like OpenAI. OpenAI, you heard about OpenAI, right? OpenAI built something called ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a product from company called OpenAI. Similarly, you had something called Cloud Code, right? Have you heard about something called Cloud Code? Cloud Code is the best tool which is available from uh, which is available for coding. That is from Anthropic. Anthropic is a company. Okay. OpenAI, Anthropic, all these are the companies and they are producing these products. Okay. So yeah, there is something called Claude, Opus, Haiku. All these are the models from them. Okay. What happened is recently there was some security breach. Not security breach. They published their packages, and then what everyone did is they looked into the code. Actually, the code got open sourced. It's not open source, but yeah, people look into what Anthropic has built. And yeah, if you want to see how uh, Anthropic's code on how they build these large systems. This is a GitHub repo where this author has written how and what are the standards that uh, Claude or Anthropic has followed whenever they are building the large language models. So I'm sharing this link with you guys. Look into that link. You'll get so much of information, abundant of information from that, guys. I learned so many things from that. Definitely, you'll also learn so many things from that repo. Okay. So how to build a prompt. Whenever you are building the prompt, how to optimize the prompt. Uh, at the moment, if you are new, that might not be great help. But yeah, after learning some concepts in AI, after our boot camp at least, if you go through that, you will definitely learn so many things from that, guys. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, guys. This boot camp is free. I'm seeing some comments. Don't worry. This boot camp is free. If you are planning to learn from us, from KKR Gen AI, if you want to enhance your skills, we also offer paid course, which is around 100 hours. uh, that is what Ram sir and then Aprup has given you, the end-to-end curriculum. This, whatever the next 4 weeks, each 2 hours, you don't need to pay single penny. Okay, single bug. Okay. So with that, I mean, let's come back to our topic. Okay. So can we start, guys? Can we start? Just yes or no in the chat. How is the Josh? I want yes, yes, yes in the chat, guys, so that we will continue our discussion. Okay. Okay. Yep. 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 Thank you so much. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So now that again, we have PDFs. What we are trying to do is we are trying to push these PDFs into vector databases, right? We have, I have question. I'm sending this question to vector database. I'm retrieving the relevant information. So this process is called retriever. So once after retrieving the relevant information, what am I doing is I'm doing something called argumentation, where I'm trying to argument the relevant information with the question. I'm passing this to LLM, and what I'm getting from LLM is I'm getting the answer from LLM. So what is this ingestion pipeline is all about? So you have the PDF, you extract the information. Once after extracting the information, you are doing some transformation. Let's not worry about what is chunking, embedding. I'll talk about the I'll talk about them in detail. But yeah, so you try to extract the content, you try to do some OCR, you after doing the OCR, you are doing some transformation. Once after doing the transformation, you are loading this entire content into vector database. Okay, for loading as well, we have a hell lot of things. Like there is something called parallel loading, there is something called sequential loading. Whenever you are doing chunking, there are hundreds of strategies. Whenever you are doing embedding, we have hundreds of strategies, which I am not going to discuss right now. But yeah, we'll spend some time on what are these techniques all about on high level. If you want in detail, we'll talk about that. But let's spend some time on high level, what exactly these techniques are all about. Okay. So first and foremost thing is, let's talk about what is OCR. So OCR stands for optical character recognition. What is OCR? Why do we need OCR is to extract some content from scanned copies or scanned PDFs. Okay. So if you have scanned PDFs, then what we can do is we can kind of uh, extract the content with PDFs. Yeah, if it is digital copy as well, we can send and then we can extract the content if it is digital as well. No worries. Okay. The second thing. What is the second thing? The second thing is chunking. What is chunking, guys? Chunking is the process of taking the bigger document and splitting into small units. Okay. So that is called chunking. So what is the third option, guys? We have. So let's assume that you have let's assume that in chunking, let's assume that you have 1,000-page document, guys. Now what we are doing is we are breaking this 1,000-page document into small units, which means now each page is one chunk. So if you see, one page is one chunk and so on. So the process of breaking down the bigger documents into small individual units, which is called as chunking. Okay. Now let's talk about the third point, guys. Let's talk about the third point, which is called embedding. What is meant by embedding? Process of converting the text into vectors, numbers. Why do we need to do this? Because vector database can only store vectors, guys. Okay. Final thing is to store all this into vector databases. Storing it is a hub where we can store all the vector information. Is this clear, guys? On all these techniques, any questions? Vector databases are not models, guys. They are, let me take some questions. So they are not any questions. I mean, they are not models. They are just like SQL databases, NoSQL databases. They are storage hubs. Break into pieces. Chunking. Yeah, spelling. It is typo, guys. It is chunking. Okay. Converting text into vectors. Is it like, why do we need vector databases? Is we will understand that OCR convert logs also. What do you mean by logs? Uh, is it textual? I mean, is it log files? I'm not getting what is that logs. Can you be a bit more detailed? What about images? So logos. Sorry, got it. Company logos. So you're asking about company logos. Yeah, if a company logos has some text like, hey, LLC, let's assume that KKR Gen Ai LLC. If that company logos has the text, we will extract the text. If company logos has symbols, OCR models doesn't say that this symbol is Google's, this symbol is KKR. It doesn't say that, but if the logo has the information, it will extract that information. Whether the flow is same for all the types of content like PDF, like image and video. No, it is the thing that I am talking about is only for PDFs, and it is only for unstructured data. Can we use Oracle database in place of vector? I mean, Oracle also has some vector database features. I haven't personally implemented anything, but yeah, you can explore. So Oracle database is SQL database, right? You can't use SQL databases for vector databases. Vector database stores vectors, right? But inside the Oracle, I think there is a specialized thing for vector for storing the vectors as well. So explore that, but we can't store uh, this this numerical data into vector databases. Just can we restrict the data by personas? No. Vector databases, I mean, we kind of because there is no personalization as such. I mean, we can't store, hey, this is you specific user questions. This is that persona we can't kind of we can store, but whenever we are retrieving, we might not get that persona. We can store, I mean, anything can be stored. If you convert the textual information into vector database, we can store that. But yeah, definitely we will not be able to, because whenever you are retrieving the relevant information, w- one person, let's say, if there are two personas, I am one person, I have some persona, and you are one person, you have some other persona. Now whenever you are asking LLM to bring Shekhar's persona, it can kind of bring your persona, and then it can also match somehow. It is always vector matching, right? You might or might not get the same persona, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so yeah, with that, I hope this everything is clear, right? Is this clear, guys? Just say yes or no on this ingestion pipeline. Any questions on this ingestion pipeline? Just say yes or no, so that we'll move to that. Okay, yep, everyone is clear with this. Okay, now you understand, right? Now whenever you send a question to vector database, what you are sending is, you are sending the vector. You are not sending the question, guys. You will convert the question into vector. You send this question to vector database. Now inside vector databases, what we have? We have something called vectors, right? Now what you are doing is in mathematics. Now what all this is a mathematical operation which is happening internally. You send the question to vector database, right? What you are sending is, you are sending something called vector. Okay, and whenever you are sending this vector to vector database, so now let's assume that you are sending vector 1, and inside the vector database, what we have is, we have all the vectors, right? Let's assume that there are 10 vectors. I'm just giving some rough estimation. So this is vector 1 1 and so on, right? Vector 2 2 and so on. Vector, let's say 100. Now what you are trying to do is, you are trying to see how close this vector is to this vector. So there is something called cosine similarity. What that cosine similarity does is, it checks whether these two vectors are close enough or not. If they are close enough, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to return as the relevant information. Okay. So for a given question, we are sending this given question to vector database, and from vector database, by checking some closeness, we are kind of getting some relevant pages, and that relevant pages I'm passing it to LLM, and what we are getting is, we are getting something called answer. So this is on high level RAG, guys. And any other questions, guys, on this entire RAG? You understand this RAG? If you understand this, I'll go to next topic. What happens when we are having multiple PDF documents? All the embeddings goes into the same vector database? Yes. If let's assume that if you have 10,000 PDFs, we'll store all those 10,000 PDFs into one vector database. Okay, guys. Is vector database a cloud DB? Yes. There are so many vector databases that are available. There is something called Pinecone. There is something called Chroma. There is so many vector databases. There is something called AI search. There are cloud DBs. There are local DBs. You can use whatever vector database that you plan to have. Digital databases, we need to extract, right? Even though it is digital copies, we need to extract the content, right? Yes, we need to do that. Okay. So we have discussed this topic, right? What is kind of AI high level? What is generative AI? We talked about RAG in detail, right? Sorry, guys. We talked about RAG in detail, right? So now I want to talk about agents and I want to talk about fine tuning, which I'll talk about tomorrow. I'm the lecturer or I'm the mentor for tomorrow's class as well. Okay, so please feel free to join tomorrow's class. I'll talk about agents. Everyone is talking about agentic AI, all this stuff, right? I'll talk about that in tomorrow's class, and then I'll talk about what is fine tuning is all about. We will spend more time there. Okay. And can we spend some time on life cycle of a generative AI project, guys? Just say yes or no. Okay. Okay. So, so how do we talk about life cycle is so generally we'll get the requirement. So once after getting the requirement, simple thing is that we will analyze the requirement. We will see whether first and foremost thing is all the companies right now are trying to build POCs. So they will say that hey, they'll take 2 or 3 documents and then they will see whether you can build uh, something or not. Okay, whether LLM is working fine or not for that use case. So initially they'll do the POC, and if that POC is kind of okay, then they'll do a PRD. They'll draft, right, what are the requirements that we need to do, and then they'll start the deployment. They'll start the development. Okay. Once this development is done, dev work is done, uh, what we are trying to do is we are trying to, I mean, it is not like some traditional software engineering practices, guys. So what we need to do is we need to evaluate the system, whatever the system that we are building, right? We need to see, we need to find, we need to do evaluation. What is meant by an evaluation is you build this, let's assume that you build the RAG system. Uh, you build the RAG system and where exactly where exactly how exactly this is performing in real time. So you need to evaluate that system, right? So before this goes into production, after developing, we need to evaluate the system on how good our system is performing. That evaluation is must needed. Once after doing that evaluation, we will push this into QA and then QA validates it. Let's assume that everything goes well. So once after doing, we will push this into production. After doing into production, what we will do is we'll do something called observability. We'll do something called observability. What is meant by observability is we need to check how good our product, how our product is performing in real time, because AI is unpredictable, right? I mean, sometimes we never know how whether there is some data drift, or we need to see how our product is working in production, right? So we need to do something called observability. So once after uh, having this observability before going into production as well, we need to see data security and governance. We need to talk about how exactly our product is, whether it is having any whether there is any PI leakage or not. We need to see we need to talk about whenever you are building an AI product, PI information traceability is also very important, right? How do you trace? Let's say if AI is giving something as the answer, do you have traceability? Can you track back where exactly this answer is coming from? that AI and governance is also one thing that we need to keep in mind. And whenever you are pushing this into production, so you need to know CI/CD things. How do you push this code into an environment? All these things pretty much common with software engineering. So building wise, it is different. But once after you build the product, the similar thing that whatever the software engineering principles that we have, like whether it can be scale, whether it can be load balancing or scalability, consistency, all these principles will borrow it from software engineering principles, and then we will implement the same thing for AI as well. Okay, but development is kind of tricky where we'll not follow some traditional ways. Right now, everyone is using cloud and then building applications on top of that, right? So these two, evaluation, observability, and data security, are the big things that we need to talk about whenever we are building generative AI applications. Okay. Uh, yeah. With that, I'll take a pause here, guys, for today. So today, these are the things that we have discussed. We discussed RAG in detail. We discussed life cycle on high level. We touched about on high level. Tomorrow, I'll talk about agents and fine tuning on high level. This sets you some base to your RAG project, guys. Okay. From the next classes, whoever is taking in the next weeks, they will show you how to implement these projects with coding, without coding. What are the applications that we can build with the help of RAG, with the help of agents? We'll see all those things. Okay. So with that, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hands. I'll take all your questions for the next 10 or 15 minutes, guys. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. I'm just giving you one more LinkedIn, one time. My LinkedIn, I'll be very active on LinkedIn, guys. So if you have any questions related to anything, feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. I will take your questions after this class as well. Okay. Feel free to raise your hands. Team will definitely help you to unmute yourself, and I can take your questions, whatever questions it is. Okay, whether it is logistics, whether it is anything, we will take all those questions. Aram, Surya, Aprup, anyone? I see four people who raised their hands. Uh, can you give unmute access? I don't have an access.
Yeah, Master, give me 1 minute.
Okay.
So just Shiva garu, can you try to unmute yourself? Shiva Rudra. Hello. Yeah, Durga Prasad garu. Please unmute yourself. Yeah, Shiva garu, proceed.
Yeah. Hi, Hi, Shekhar. This is Prasad.
Hey, Prasad.
Yeah, I'm from India, Hyderabad. Actually, I want to know, actually, I'm working on data engineering, senior data engineering from past 3, 4 years, like working on Databricks and PySpark and SQL and building the pipelines in the cloud. So, like with this course, how I can implement in the AI, like enroll like AI, like how it will impact in the future, what type of technologies.
Mm-hmm. So because you are into data engineering and you know a little bit of Python, it is very easy for you to transition into AI. And with this course is this boot camp, especially. Are you asking about boot camp or are you asking about paid course? I'm unclear, Prasad.
Yeah, even paid core also, how we can see that, once we completed the course, how I
Uh-huh.
can implement in this projects, in
Mm-hmm.
type of data side.
Okay. So definitely, I mean, once after completing our paid course is not, it is industry oriented. We'll start with taking the requirement. We will see how do we build it. After building, we'll show you how to deploy this. And then we'll also have observability mechanism. We'll talk about IWT, governance. We'll talk about end-to-end ecosystem how exactly is happening in the enterprise. This course is not what I can say is that this course is not simple course. It needs some practice, 100 hours. You need to put your effort. So if you put right effort for the next upcoming 100 days, what are the opportunities that you are going to get, and what is the expect what are the outcomes of this course is that you will be able to definitely land into a position which is called, yeah, because you are a senior, you'll land into something called senior engineer, AI engineer position. If you do one or two certifications from Anthropic, you'll also be, if you are more interested, you can also, if you want to become an architect, you can also become an architect. So you can architect the AI solutions, and then you can also build AI applications. That is what I can say after let's say after attending our 100-day course. One promise, not promise, but if you put right amount of hard work, you will definitely convert from senior data engineer to senior AI engineer, where you can build applications. Okay, where you can build AI applications in real world. You can build chatbots, you can build AI workflows, you can build AI agents for different applications. And you know, right, if you go and search AI engineer in LinkedIn, you see all these things like Greg, agentic AI, generative AI, large language model, chat GPT, whatever the requirement that is needed for AI engineer, everything will be covered in this course. We'll start with Python. We will talk about context engineering, prompt engineering. We'll talk about machine learning on high level. Later we'll spend 3 hours on RAG, 3 weeks on RAG, 3 weeks on AI agents, with 3 weeks on MC, 1 week, 2 weeks on MCP. We'll cover end to end, so that you'll know how to build applications end to end. You'll also build with the help of Cloud Code. If you have coding background, or if you don't have coding background, it doesn't matter. The only thing that is needed for this course from KKR Gen AI is one thing, which is interest. If you have interest, and if you have time, if you can spend enough 150 hours, you will definitely land into a big tech company as an AI engineer. That is what I can say.
Yeah, thanks, Kaka, for your info. Yeah, thank you.
Shekhar Garu.
Mhm.
Yes. So the vector DBs, let's say we have the files in a server or some other file. So while inloading, sorry, after doing ETL, so vector DB is a physical database, or how to can set up the vector DB?
It is physical database. You can see what is the database, what is the data that is present in the vector database, uh, and so it is similar to the SQL database. I mean, appearance wise, a replica, or if you want to replicate anything, you can replicate that. Load balancing thing, everything, you can think of it as a SQL database. If you tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll show you a vector database, a simple vector database, and I can show you how to retrieve, how to perform select operations, and all this stuff. There is, I mean, the way we do it differently. I mean, in SQL databases, we do uh, something called keyword search, right? Where you ask, hey, select star from so and so table where some condition is met. Now, what's happening is we are trying to match the keyword and we are getting the information, right? Similar in vector databases, you will not do that keyword searching. Instead, you do something called semantic searching, where if you send a question to vector database, you are getting the relevant information. So I'll show one database tomorrow, because I'm only taking tomorrow's class as well, so that you'll get bit more understanding.
Okay. Okay. So it has some clusters and so, right? In
Yep,
the
yep, everything. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
About paid courses, it is weekdays. Yes, we have in the nights and then weekends as well. Uh, Ram sir, would you like to comment on that? On the timings for paid course or approve?
Yeah, Shekhar, I'll go ahead. So for the timings part, so we conduct from Wednesday to Sunday. From Wednesday to Friday, we conduct at 9:15 p.m. EST to 10:15 p.m. EST for 1 hour. And for the weekends, we have at 10 a.m. EST to 12 p.m. EST. So it's for 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday. So total 5 days we conduct in the weekdays, and we'll definitely share everything with you. Yeah. And I think Mahesh, you are permitted to talk. You can go ahead and ask the question to Shekhar. Mahesh, Bhujang, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So good morning, and thank you, Shekhar, for a good session. I have two questions. One is, suppose I'm using for the RAG implementation, I'm using one embedding model, right? And using that embedding model, I store the data into the vector database. And when I use user prompt query or a UI, how the user prompt UI convert into the same embedding model to get the data from the vector database? How it will define, like, how the user prompt will know that, okay, this is the model, embedding model used for vector database.
No, can you come a question again? I'm kind of off with
Okay.
sorry for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Suppose I'm using one embedding model for the RAG implementation to store the data into the
Vector
vector.
database. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And suppose I have UI where
Mm-hmm.
user can give that prompt, so that how that user
Mm-hmm.
prompt will convert into which embedding model to get the data from vector
Vector
database.
database. Got it. So whenever you are doing ingestion, let's assume that you are using some OpenAI model. Let's assume that you are using text embedding or a 002 model, or text embedding small model, or text embedding large model. So now user is asking a simple question. User is asking a question like, hey, tell me about something. Now what we will do, user will not convert anything, right? So we
Yeah, I
take
know.
the query,
Mhm.
we send this query to backend, which means we will have an API. We'll take this question, and whenever we are sending this question to vector database, we convert that question. So whatever the embedding model that we have used during this ETL, we'll use the same embedding model, and we take this prompt, we convert that prompt, and we send that prompt to vector database. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so that
So in
means
the backend logic,
okay.
we take this prompt, we convert this prompt into with the help of the embedding model, whatever we have used during the ingestion, we take the same embedding model, we convert it, and then we send it into vector database.
Okay, so say for example, in that lang chain or something like that, we use one LLM, and
Mm-hmm.
so tomorrow I'm going to change it to different LLM.
Mm-hmm.
The vector database is the same, right? So
Mm-hmm.
will that work, or because I changed that LLM, will that work, or it will not? It doesn't matter, right? It will work
Yeah,
because
it is independent. Yep. So whatever the embedding models, it doesn't matter.
okay.
So you can use different embedding model with different large language model, or same embedding model with same the LLM.
Okay. So sorry, one last question.
Mm-hmm. Go
Suppose if
ahead.
do you have anywhere the sandbox to, like, to play around? Can you refer any kind of sandbox environment to play around?
To play around a RAG project or agent
Yeah, something.
project or
Because if I wanted to write some kind of LangChain or using
code.
code or something like that. So is there
Sure.
any
Yeah,
sandbox environment available?
I think we have. You can ping to our team. Our team will definitely get back to you. We will share that details. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, you can ping one offline. We'll definitely do that.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah, next, Srinivas Raghavar, you can go ahead and with your question.
Oh, thank you. Uh, Thank you so much, Shekhar. This session is very useful to us. Uh, I have one question. Like, I'm working as a full stack engineer. So, as part of the paid course, you told like Python like a 2 weeks, and RAG is like a 3 weeks. So how it is going to useful as a full stack engineer? nowadays, like most of the AI tools automatically generating the coding, irrespective of the languages. If you get the requirement, then how this paid course is going to be useful for me?
Excellent. Good question. Uh, so what are we trying to learn from this course is we try to learn how to architect its systems, how to use the tools, and then how to write the code end to end, how to think scale. So we'll talk about system design. We'll talk about how to build applications at scale. What are the failure points? So because we are having a wide experience when building with AI applications, me, and then there is an architect from India, and then one module lead here who is working in Amex. We all know what are the pain points. See, building is one thing. So coding agents can write the code, but uh, we need to know what are the pain points, and we need to know what are the things that in advance sometimes some things can be, we can minimize some things, right? I mean, we can't predict what happens in the production after going into production, but with the variety of experience that we have within our group, we will let you know what are the pain points, how to solve that pain points, what are the problems that we get in production, how to hand rate limiting. So coding agents will give the code, but designing principles or how to architect a system design, that we need to learn. The course will enable you as a uh, to think in first principle, to think from first principles, and given a problem statement, how do you architect the problem statement? And then you need to have the full control over your system, right? Even though your kind of coding agents are giving you the end-to-end project, but you need to know what module to use. You need to have the decision making, right? Here I can use this LLM or I can use this LLM. You need to know all these concepts, right? Without knowing these concepts, even though the LLMs are giving some random code, it doesn't help you, right? So as an AI engineer, you need to know all these things like how to architect a system, what components to use, where exactly it is failing, why LLMs are failing in particular situations, how to build applications at scale. All these things you will learn from this course. Hope I answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Ashik. Yeah.
Yeah, Mahesh garu, please proceed. Mahesh garu. Yeah, I think if you have any questions, please raise your hand because we are out of time. And if there are no questions, please try to fill our enrollment form if you are looking for one-to-one discussion. Either me or some of my team members will call and explain you if you have any kind of questions. Yes, our office is behind Spices Hut. We have two offices. One is practical and one is for conducting sessions and all. I have separate AI lab as well with GPUs and all. You can come and visit Shravan. Okay. Yeah, please raise your hand. So yes, this summer I'm planning for a model training within our lab so that you can, yeah, we are buying a $5,000 GPU where you can, just like practice training a model and host in cloud. So those things, yeah, along with your training, you can practice here in our lab. Okay, you can come on weekend so that we will try to help you all. Yeah. So yes, enrollment form, it's not for paid course or whatever it is. So if you need one-to-one discussion for any queries or involving in project or getting even access to free projects, so try to fill it so that we can help you on that. Okay. Ramesh Nagendra garu. So can you unmute yourself and raise your question? Yeah, the host.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing the information. Um, before joining this course, what is the prerequisite you think from your point of view?
Yeah, prerequisite is if you know basic Python coding, it's like it's all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for architect or management role, light Python is enough. But if you're looking for core development side, maybe Python related to agentic AI and Gen AI is really important. And apart from that, if you would know about these LLMs like ChatGPT, Grok, and integrations, MCPs, some of the AI tools, and free resources, how to use GitHub and all, then I think based on this knowledge, we can take you to the next level. Shaker Master, please add if I miss something. Yeah.
Yeah, I have given you, Ramesh, I think I have given you the chart as well. If you're, I'm not sure what background that you have, but if you are planning to get some prerequisite, please watch that Python video. I have shared that. That gives you some sort of basic which is needed for our course. And definitely, once after having that information, you can come and then you can build amazing applications, and then you can learn how to build and then how to architect as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody, if you have any questions, we are happy to spend a few more minutes. Nishwant, please proceed. You are allowed to talk. Nishwant.
Sorry, I think I accidentally raised my hand.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry.
But I still had a question anyway. So,
Yeah,
I'm not.
and one more, sorry to hold you. One more important note, whoever joined today, please follow our emails because every day is a separate link. Previously, I created a recurrent meeting, but one of my staff member changed some of the Zoom admin settings and we lost the data. So please look at your email even for tomorrow meeting also. Tomorrow, Shaker Master is going to extend this class about agents and agentic framework. Very good information. We are going to discuss 2 hours. And even next week also, we have 4 hours projects and all. LangChain, LangGraph implementation. So that please join. Whoever I see like 200 plus people now. We missed to inform, but anyway, please follow your emails. That's what I would recommend, so that you can utilize these free sessions during this summer. Please go, Nishwant. Now you can proceed. I lost you, Nishwant, or somebody is talking. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have labs and everything for people in person. So how will that work for people who are remotely attending the sessions?
Yeah, we have, this is a free boot camp, right? Paid course, people join very less, like 50 plus people, and we have 12 mentors. So 12 mentors, and we have support engineers also, 4 to 5 support engineers. So we have enough mentors to accommodate our students.
And I think you already answered the question. So I'm from technical background, but I haven't worked on Python. So I've worked more on the data integration tools.
That's fine. Yeah, you don't need to worry about Python and coding at this time because AI is helping you a lot. So we will help you on that too. So just like remove that scariness from your mind. Okay. So nowadays, coding is not a big challenge.
Yeah. No, I'm not scared, but I want to make the best out of what we are learning.
Yeah,
So
it's all about your energy. Next 6 months, if you associate with us, we have enough live projects. We have MVPs designing for clients, and we also discuss some of the projects during our classes also. So yeah, if you keep in touch frequently, we'll help you about your next level thinking or learning, whatever you want. We'll help you on that. Nishwant. Okay.
Yeah, I'm more on the architect level. I want to be more on the architect level. So
We have two architects. We have two architects from our mentors. They teach 30 to 40 hours of system architecture and AI components only. See, like Shaker Master will come and teach agentic frameworks and Python coding and all. There is another person, Abhinav, who come and teach system components and AI knowledge in and out. There are two mentors who is expert in machine learning, NLP, and deep learning. They come and teach. There are two mentors who is good in vibe coding and no code tools. There is one mentor who is good in project management, testing, and other AI tools. So everybody, there is one AI architect from India who teaches only project implementations. So definitely, overall, when you attend each and every class for the next 100 days, so you will be good in learning wise.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, you please try to find out your email every day. We send
Sure.
every 1 hour one reminder email, so that join from that latest email. Okay, that's what our recommendation. Okay.
Sure, definitely. Thank you.
If there are no questions, you are happy to exit. If there are questions, you can stay back, even if it is general question or related to course or anything, enrollment or upcoming classes related information. Anything you want to know, please raise your hand, or if you don't want to talk, please try to chart here so that we can look at an answer. Shaker Master, if you want, you can you can just exit. General question I can manage.
Sure.
Yeah. Bharati garu, please proceed.
Hey, first of all, thank you for the session. This is really useful. But my question is like most of the companies now have this year-end goals, like creating an agents or implementing AI for that particular application, etc., right? So, and also most of the organizations right now, they have their internal AI tools. So if we have to create an agents on that internal AI tools, I was just curious, will that be covered here? Or if I'm stuck there, then what exactly, or how exactly this course is going to help me?
Definitely. So that is what the agenda of the course, right? So based on the business requirement in enterprise applications like any company, so our course mainly helps you building agents with code, without code. There are two approaches we teach. Even multi-agent frameworks projects also it will be covered. And building agents using LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, Google Vertex AI, even using some of the Amazon tools. So we will help you end-to-end project, end-to-end agents building with code and without code also. There are some cloud applications where you can just like drag and drop also by just like configuring your business requirement, configuring some of the features, some of enabling some of the checkbox. Even still, you can create agent. You can host in cloud platforms. And also, we will help you in building agents using Cloud Code, even Cursor.ai. There are many AI tools, so we'll help you on that. Okay. So two things you can learn. Build agents using code tools, without code tools also. And that, the background knowledge, processing knowledge also you'll be covered, like system architecture, let's say a small example like ChatGPT. If you input and when you see some output, right, behind the scene, the chunking strategy, there are from input to output, behind the scene, we teach like 20 plus hours to understand completely. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hands-on lab mostly in Jupyter Notebook you have to practice. So we teach Jupyter Notebook, we teach anti-gravity from Google side, we teach Google Colab, and we also implement some of the project using VS Code on top of using AI flavors.
I have one more question, sorry, but what exactly I'm just looking is like in agentic AI. Is there any different course that you have, like a smaller
In our
duration course?
in our 100-day course, right, agentic frameworks will be covered. That course itself, 35 plus hours we teach. LangChain, LangGraph, CrewAI, Llama Index, AutoGen, all these frameworks will be covered. Every framework we teach like 7 to 8 hours, theoretical plus practical also. Next week, please try to attend Bharati, so you'll be covered some agentic framework classes.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we will be starting a new batch in the May first week. And if you have any, see, it's like we conduct with very economical price, not like $1,000, $2,000. So it will be like within $500. So please enroll it, and we will help you for the next 6 months about your learning path. That's my strategy. Like take less and help the people who is really seriously interesting to career switch and trying to upgrade AI on top of their current skills. Okay, I think if there are no questions, please. I see there are many inactive people. Maybe they on the system and they may not listening or whatever. But if you are really don't have any questions, I know it's weekend. Happy weekend, everyone. Please try to join tomorrow as well. I see some of the one who please sir. The one.
Hi.
Yeah, hi,
What is the
Mahesh.
difference between this boot camp and paid course?
A boot camp is kind of not all people attend the courses, right? So we try to help. If someone don't want to join, these trainings may help them to prepare themselves in a self-paced mode. Okay. So paid course is like you will be given each and everything, and you will be explained complete end-to-end projects, and you will be given access to all projects, and you will be associated with us for the next 6 to 1 year, and you will be given access to attend as many as batches till you're comfortable. So once you pay, you can join as many as batches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, um, we have currently 30 hours, right, for this boot camp.
Correct. Yeah.
So it will cover most of the points in the paid course.
Important things will be covered. Agentic frameworks, everything will be covered. Correct.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it will like a practice oriented session or
Yes.
like
Labs will be there. Labs also you'll be covered like 8 hours, 10 hours lab sessions only. Next week onwards.
okay, in the boot camp itself or a
Yeah,
paid
yeah,
course?
the boot camp itself.
So the lab sessions, we need to that server missions and everything, right? Access, right? So will you going to give the access or we need to buy ourselves?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I see. So Mahesh Garu, I think you can call me offline so I can I'm happy to discuss you in detail. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
If there are any questions, Apurup is going to help you next 5-10 minutes. Please raise your hand. Thank you.
Hey Ram, can you share the phone number so we can reach out?
Yeah, my team will share. Apurup, someone can share the phone number.
Okay, thank you.
I've got a quick question.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to find out, I don't know if you can hear me clearly. My apologies, my network is a bit slow.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. So I just wanted to find out, for someone like me who's building AI workflows, and I don't come from a technical background, it's literally self-knowledge that I've studied intensely, that I started to understand the systems, and I've already built a skeleton, the way I want the whole workflows to be. And they're targeted towards people in the sales industry. So I wanted to find out how this bootcamp can help me because I'd love to transition from workflows to automations to agents. But I wanted to understand how this bootcamp will help me in that direction.
Yeah, so in this bootcamp, we cover all the agents, agentic AI frameworks, completely related to, the automation use cases with the projects. With this 30 hours, you will get to know how the implementation is going on with the projects from end to end. So we'll also share some of the content to you so that you can look into it. And also, we have different mentors come from different backgrounds with the AI architect, AI ML engineers, and we have also AI product owners where they teach on different use cases. So definitely, once you go through all these boot camps over the weeks, definitely you'll get an idea where you will fall into, and definitely we'll discuss online or offline. We can connect over the call and discuss in detail about your queries and everything. We'll definitely happy to answer your all questions in detail once you go through the boot camps in the future.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. I think Swarnika, you can go ahead with your question. Swarnika garu. And next we have Purush. You can go ahead with your question if you have anything to ask.
Sorry, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said we have a WhatsApp channel, right?
Yeah.
Where will I find it?
So yeah, our team will share you in the chat. You can just add from there. Surya or someone can you share in the chat so that they'll join the WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, hi. This is
Yeah.
Swarnika. Could you able to
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah. We can. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. May I know the playbook what will be covered on the paid course, and also who all are presenting what, so that I will get the details before taking the course.
Sure. We'll definitely we have the enrollment form. Just fill out that form. We'll send you all the course content. So we start with ML, machine learning, deep learning with the data science concept, and we go on to the generative AI with agents and agentic AI frameworks. And the 14 weeks plan will be shared with you. You can go through there. So the team will definitely reach out to you once, fill out the forms with your email and phone number. We'll share them over the phone or the WhatsApp or email
Sure.
before
Thanks.
the
So,
you can go through that content before the paid batch starts. We are starting the new batch in May, so definitely meanwhile you can go through those content.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We will be getting in a mail, right, regarding all
Mm-hmm.
these details, the form also.
Yeah. In our WhatsApp chat, you'll be getting the enrollment link right now. And we'll also share with everyone in the email so that you can fill out the forms over there as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Surya, can you share the enrollment link once again in the chat so that whoever wants to fill out, they will fill out again.
Yeah, sure.
So if you have anything like any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, you can just ping in the chat. If there are no questions, we can feel free to drop off for today. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes and end this session. And we have the same we have the session tomorrow on the same time. So just check out for the new links that you'll be getting over the emails with the Zoom links. So join with those new links. So definitely, yeah, we can see in the tomorrow's class. I see there are no questions yet. Chanduriti, you can go ahead with your question in chat or you can just raise your hand. I'll just try to unmute. Or you can ping in the chat, Chandu. Yeah, I think that should be it for today. I don't see any questions. So I'm unable to unmute Chandu Reddy. So can you raise your hand, or we can just talk offline? So yeah, we have already shared the number. So can you share the number, Surya, once again in the chat? So he will reach out to us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have the number in the chat, so please feel free to reach out to that number. You can call, or you can just WhatsApp to that business number. So definitely we'll be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, I think that should be it for today. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending today's session, and also thanks our team for supporting this session throughout. Yeah, have a happy weekend, and yeah, have a good day. Thank you.